Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into my official college football week number 11 best bets, where I zero in on some games I absolutely love and give you guys some of my best bets, beginning with I believe this is a Friday night game. I got it 8.5, guys. I know it got bet up to 10, but 8.5, that's what I saw it at. Fresno State at UNLV. I still like Fresno State to cover the 10. And guys, this is a situation where Fresno State is on such a warpath. They got their starting quarterback back. They annihilated Hawaii in an epic beatdown. They've covered 2 straight games. They're just trouncing everyone. And guys, UNLV is not good. I know this is a road game. This is like a 44-14 type final. It's going to get real bad for UNLV. Vegas has not auto-corrected. This is a different Fresno State team with their starting quarterback. This was a team that possibly could have been a top 25 team, but they had an injury, so I'll take Fresno State minus the 8.5. Ohio State minus 41.5 versus Indiana. So the Buckeyes coming off that terrible performance, lot of wind, lot of, bad run blocking for the Buckeyes. Ryan Day and this Ohio State offense, they're going to want to absolutely break out, and that's why I am predicting Ohio State to drop an 80 burger this week. Either way, it's a bit of a bigger spread, a little bit bigger, but they're going to cover it no problem. Indiana has just completely quit at this point. They got crushed by Penn State at home by 31. Now they're facing an Ohio State team that's in desperate need of style points. The Buckeyes are going to... And CJ Stroud knows, listen, the Heisman Trophy is still there for the taking, but you got to start, padding your stats a little bit. You got to throw for 6 touchdowns in this game. CJ Stroud will do that. He's going to set himself up to possibly win the Heisman with a good performance against Michigan. The Buckeyes possibly score 80 in this one. The over-under is 58, guys. Ohio State's going to beat that. They're going to almost double that by themselves. The Buckeyes win big. Purdue at Illinois, there's good value in this game on the under 47. So guys, the situation surrounding this one, this is an 11 a.m. Central kickoff. Purdue's offense is just horrific. They scored 3 points last week. I think they'll score a little bit more this week, but they have 0 playmakers. Absolutely no one. I guess they do have Charlie Jones. We want to give that kid credit. But other than that, there's just the offense is not explosive. Illinois is going to want to get back on track. They're going to want to ball control, run the ball. They had a disastrous loss against MSU, but their season is still looking good. They've still overperformed. They've still got a good defense. Let's not overreact to one bad loss. We will take the under in this game. We will trust Illinois' defense. We'll trust the 11 a.m. kickoff times, which tend to be unders, and we'll take the under 47. I think the over-under in this game should be like 43, personally. Kentucky minus the 17.5 versus Vanderbilt. This is a very similar situation to last week with Kentucky. They're an attractive bet right now because Will Levis is going full try-hard mode because he's got to play well for his NFL stock. Vanderbilt is terrible. Kentucky runs the ball well. They play good enough defense. You're looking at like a 38-7 type final score, in my opinion, with Kentucky covering this spread easily. They're just an attractive team to bet on because of the situation surrounding it. They run the ball good. They've got a good enough defense. It is one of those annoying 17.5 point spreads. You'd love to get it at 16.5. It is what maybe it'll drop, guys, and you can bet on it then. I don't know. UConn plus the 14.5 versus Liberty. So this is a correction game. Liberty is not nearly as good as their record. They will most certainly be ranked this week. I am not disputing that. They beat Arkansas. But guys, this is a situation where Liberty almost lost to an FCS team about a month ago. People forget that. UConn is a hard-charging team who's got a lot of momentum behind their program. They're in a position they've never been in, for the longest time, where they can make a bowl if they win this game. Even if they don't win it, they've got a good enough defense where they can play Liberty close, lower scoring, noon start time. I like the vibe on the UConn cover of the 14.5. Old Dominion plus 8 versus James Madison. So guys, Old Dominion totally shut out last week. They scored 0 points. I think they lost that game 12-0 to Marshall. Now they're at home against the James Madison's team, who has just completely lost it. They have no offense. This will be a closer, probably low-scoring game. And you've got Old Dominion. Even if Old Dominion loses this game, I can't really see James Madison at this point in the season, what they've showed us the past 3 weeks, covering this 8-point spread. They might win the game, but it's going to be a closer game. Old Dominion, they at least have a pulse. They're not dead. I thought Old Dominion was kind of a decent team earlier this year. It's kind of taken a side turn, unfortunately, for their program, but still the value at +8 against the James Madison team, who just has no offense right now, is too much to pass up. Arkansas State -17 versus UMass. So it is a situation, you get this with Vegas a few times. UMass is just so bad, it's not enough. This spread really should probably be like -21.5 in my opinion, and looking at different analytical models. Arkansas State's probably going to win this game by 25. UMass is the worst FBS team at this point. Arkansas State's at home. They have some Power 5 talent. They've got the FSU transfer, James Blackman. I will take them to cover. I know they only have 2 wins. It looks bad. They're not that bad, guys. Arkansas State, yes, they're not a good team, but against a team like UMass at home, they're going to cover the 17 in my opinion. Houston -20 versus Temple. Very similar situation, guys. Houston's offense kicks it into gear. Obviously, their defense has some major issues. We saw that last week. But the good news is they're facing Temple. Temple had a weird offensive explosion last week. I don't think they can replicate it. The narrative surrounding Temple is they have a very bad offense. Yes, they had a good week last week. It's a one-off. Houston wins this game, maybe like 51-20 or something like that, and they'll cover the 20-point spread just because their offense is humming. They're also at home. Maryland at Penn State, the over 57. So this is a 3:30 game, and I'm just getting strong over vibes in it. I like Penn State to score into the 40s. I think Maryland had an aberration bad game on the road at Wisconsin. They're going to bounce back. They've got a decent enough passing attack to at least get into the 20s. You're looking at like a 46-28 type score. I actually like Penn State minus the 12 versus I just think Penn State's a good team. I'm surprised it's not like 13 or 14 considering how bad Maryland played against Wisconsin, but we know Vegas doesn't overreact, so they've got that spread at around 10.5 right now. It's actually getting bet down. Money is being placed on Maryland, but I'm not, interested in the spread. I'll just take the over. And then we've also got Arizona State at Washington State over 56. Guys, these Pac-12 games just keep going over. Arizona State games just keep going over. Washington State just dropped a 40-burger in the first half against Stanford. You factor all that together, 57 is not a terribly hard number to get to. Maybe we're going to have to watch. We might be dealing with some weather in, upstate Washington State. Could it be in the 40s? That could affect the offense, especially Arizona. Guys, I don't know about this bet. You're going to have to look at the weather on this one because Arizona State's offense probably will not be able to function if we get 30-degree weather in this game. So it'll be interesting. You have to watch the weather on that one. That over-under makes a little bit more sense now that I think about it. I thought it was a pretty low over-under, but now it makes more sense. UCF plus the 2 at Tulane. We've come too far with UCF. We have to keep going. Tulane is a fraud. They should have lost to Tulsa. UCF needs Plumlee back, the transfer from Ole Miss. They've been saving him. He's been having a concussion, whatever. I think he's coming back. I hate college injuries. Get him back. It's a road game. They're going to win this game. It's going to be a 3-point walk-off field goal. UCF is simply a better football team than Tulane. They are. Army at Troy, we're going the under 45.5. I mean, Troy games always go under. And, add to the fact they're facing a run-heavy team in Army. I mean, I'm thinking the over-under in this game should probably be like 40. This game's got like 16-10 written all over it, in my opinion. We'll see what happens. It's like a 3:30 game, I think, but I'll take the under 45.5. Appalachian State -1 at Marshall. So this was a pick'em. Money got placed onto Appalachian State to push them -1. It's not surprising. Appalachian State is simply the better team. I understand Marshall has a good defense. They're kind of streaky. That shutout win last week, good for them. Appalachian State is simply more explosive. We'll take Appalachian State on the road. North Texas at UAB. We like the over 57.5. I love North Texas overs. Any game involving North Texas, UAB has a good enough offense. We saw them play in an overtime game. I think they scored 38 points against UTSA. I like the over 57.5. I think this line, if I had to guess, I think it'll get pushed to 60 by the end of the week. Texas Tech -4 versus Kansas. So this is a situation where, and I will talk about the TCU-Texas game in a second. I'm not doing, that's not one of my best bets, and I'll explain why. But guys, it seems weird. Kansas playing better. They just got a huge win. They just blew out Oklahoma State. Why would you pick, Texas Tech -4? It's just the parity in the Big 12. And normally it's like Kansas is the good value, but then Texas Tech at home covers. Also, I can't get out of my head Kansas giving up 700 yards of offense against Oklahoma. They've got a very bad defense. They still have a very bad roster. And then, guys, on the TCU-Texas game, technically, yes, there's strong overall value on TCU +7. But, I mean, we do this every week. It's like there's good value on Ole Miss +11.5, then everyone bets it, and then Alabama covers. Yes, there's great value on Tennessee +8 against Georgia, and then Georgia is up 24-6 in the third quarter. It's like, I don't know, guys. It's tough. So I'm trying to stay away from games like that where we all think there's good value on one team. I don't know. Number 16, Wyoming at Colorado State, under 42. I don't know, guys. I just auto-bet the under in this game. I really don't care what the number is. Wyoming, Colorado State. They're not going to, you would think this game in Colorado, early November, we could get some flurries. We're at least probably going to get 40-degree weather. Wyoming never scores very many points. This is low-hanging fruit, admittedly. I'm just auto-betting the under in it. I don't know, guys. It'd be surprised if this game was very high scoring. Stanford at Utah, kind of a weird one. We're going to go the under 53. Stanford's defense was terrible. I understand that against Washington State. But to me, this is a game where Utah gets up huge early, and then they kind of just run the clock out. That seems to happen a lot to Utah when they're big favorites at home. I mean, they might be up like 35-0 at halftime, and this game could end 42-7 or something like that. I just don't think Stanford's going to score very much against Utah. I would say, Utah minus the 23 is a solid bet, but I'll just take the under. Also, I think this game is at like 9:30 or something. It's like 6:30 Pacific or whatever. Or actually, I think it's 7:30 Mountain Time. San Jose State at San Diego State, the under 39.5. This is really rocket science here. It's two bad offenses, two good defenses. I mean, we'll take the under 39.5. Cal at Oregon State, the over 49. So kind of surprised it was only 49 in this one. California's offense really showed some things against USC, scoring all those points. Oregon State has a decent enough offense, although they do have a major quarterback issue. We'll say go over the 49. These two teams can do it. I have faith. Even if you get something like a 30-24, a 27-24, we've got the over hitting. And then I decided to go in on a MAC game. I just think Northern Illinois is better than Western Michigan straight up. I understand it's a pick'em game. Northern Illinois has a losing record. They're not very good this year. I just think they're better. When you look at the advanced analytics, the advanced numbers, their offense is significantly more explosive than Western Michigan. They are on the road, but it's just too good value. I'll take them pick them minus the 110. On the road. That's either, I don't know if that's a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night game. It's one of those two. But guys, those are my top 10 best bets here for college football week number 11. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.